want to show off this Harlowe build because I'm tired of seeing garbage, and it is kind of one of those deals of, look guys, another Red Tree Harlowe video, or the one entanglement video that just is like, you sit there and you're using crit knife, all your gear is like perfect. I genuinely believe this is a build that you could probably get by with most kind of generic things. It's worked pretty fucking well. Session setting, hard, obviously. No real reason to plan lower. The biggest piece of the puzzle is going to be this beam tosser. Technically speaking, any cryo weapon would probably do. But like I've done the SMGs, and you like a fire cryo SMG with Jacobs on the Mallow one, obviously. I switch between this amp double and I want to say it's this one, just so I can gain my airstrike, because airstrike is pretty much the big gameplay loop of this. Like that's like, anybody with a brain knows underbarrels are broken. Fuck using the crit knife, because obviously it's gonna get nerfed into the fucking ground. The fireworks shield, I have a couple of them. Personally, this thing took me way too long to get. Not as long as probably some people farmed sham and all that kind of stuff, but could not get it for the life of me. Just the most generic, like I don't need skill damage. Status effect damage is the only one benefiting me. And max shield capacity. Which shield capacity is 50-50 because this node already does so much of the work for you. And on top of that, you don't, like, you're getting this node for the overshield capacity mostly. 1 point in this, just so you have a chance to spread. 4 points in cryo efficiency. 2 points so you can continue to just get some bonus duration on your action skill because you're playing around the flux generator. A little bit of fucking action skill cooldown whenever you shoot an entangled enemy. More damage. More damage. Bunch of damage. Bunch of damage and pretty much a little bit of everything. It's actually pretty decent. And then just spread and entangle. Everything is entangled. And then this one as well, because this second line here, whenever Harlowe inflicts cryo or radiation status effect, that enemy becomes entangled. So, now, you have this thing constantly cryoing everything around the map. In theory, shit just kind of becomes entangled. And you're just doing your thing. This, technically speaking, you could probably go for pulse drive, or split these points up to where, like I said, crit with all skills. We're not really, like, the flux generator does a lot of work and it does do damage, but I do possibly think that you might be slightly better off with pulse drive and quantum immortality. Even though, if I show the gameplay, I'm going to show gameplay here, you never really need this, because unless that health regen is just converted into overshield gen, you're never getting to a point where you're needing health. You're pretty much invincible. Maybe a boss fight, but kind of pointless. Cryo efficiency, cryo damage, action skill cooldown, as long as you're hitting fucking enemy with cryo. Entangle, so just more entangle spread to pair with this one down here. Pretty much just fucking constantly tangling. Because, I'll explain it after I get through these last few skills. Kill skill for bonus damage. Lifesteal for overshield. So, this is where we're going to get a lot of our damage to push for this here. And then also, it's just survivability. You are a fucking walking ice wall. Action skill cooldown rate. And a little fucking frozen cryo. I've been tempted to get a point over to here. Just because it doesn't look like there's a cooldown on it. So, technically speaking, the amount of enemies I've entangled, possibly very worth it. I've done a build before that went down this side, as a lot of the stacking is really good. And crit damage. You can do a lot of funny shit with that, but it felt very much like you had to hyper optimize and be in a position where, oh, this is that, where it's a basic fireworks and a blue beam tosser is all you need for this. Class mod is just stat padding, so you get more cryo damage. as you can see, the game kind of explains itself. Doohickey because it's a lot stronger. Nades. Pretty much any nade would probably work as long as it's cryo. I just like this one because it's a instant fast kind of deal. I just love it. It's like a fastball. It doesn't have a chance to bounce. You know, you have the whole lineup, and if I had a proper amp and overshield, all that kind of shit, those guys just like it. But I threw because my game is tweaking a little bit. Not too happy with recording, but it's, I mean, that's general. I still got campaign to beat, and I mean, yesterday alone, switching to this build, it really started to show like. I feel like a vault hunter now, where before it was like you're throwing shit at the wall and you're trying to use guns and you're just like, ugh, I'd just be better off using an underbarrel. Where this, my actual shotgun feels good. My underbarrel feels amazing. I feel tanky. Obviously, I died there. I'm gonna show it off again. See if I mean, I could go do a different boss, but I'm gonna be honest, guys. You want to see the map? I can't really go anywhere. I'd have to play the game in solo, I guess. So, you know, I know where some bosses are, but I think these show off as a boss and a match here. I'm gonna hold my beam house for this time. And the nice thing about the nade is you don't really have to aim. It is just a jelly. So pretty much everything, most of this build, you could get pretty fucking early on. These two items are the same boss, and you're guaranteed gonna get them pretty fucking quick. This one, obviously, you're not gonna get cryo unless you're super fucking lucky. I probably deleted a couple more that were just not. Like, you know, I have the same set bonus on this element. Why am I going to keep this one? The nade has so much AoE, and it also just bounces. There's that chance it just starts to lock in on somebody across the map. Ball's going. That's a hit. What were those before? Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm a wall. I'm a walking fucking tank. 10,000 over shield, 14k shield. So, anybody who's like, I don't want to run Red Tree Harlowe, I'm not saying copy the build, but take notes. It's not just Red Tree Harlowe worlds. And you might be like, well, Red Tree Harlowe does it better than you. Red Tree Harlowe can't do ad clear, because you would need a perfect Tom to have quick cooldown. Otherwise, kind of just sitting there staring at a 40-second ult cooldown, because that's one of the big problems with Harlowe. I'm gonna go over my gripes with this character real quick. Base cooldown 55 seconds, base cooldown 35 seconds, and a base cooldown of 38. And yeah, unless you, let's think, the build pretty much kind of just specs into abuse of damage, and I think it's one of these nodes around here where it is only like, is it just this? 8 seconds. So you get 8 seconds that you're allowed to, and then if you put a capstone on, you're just slowing your cooldown even more. So that's the big problem with Harlowe. Is like you're kind of in this position where her base cooldown rates are so awful for early game that you're like forced into this weird position to use Underbarrel's play survivability. If I had to tell people how to level Harlowe, my biggest advice would be take 5 in this and 5 in this, and then you start doing your build, and later on you respec to get rid of this. But at least for base game, early on, survivability means way more than damage, as damage will just come from an underbarrel, it'll come from a grenade, it'll come from some Jacob's shotgun. You're not gonna need to a status effective build to up to level 12. No, your survivability is gonna present you 90% more value, 300% more value. I mean, that's simple, chat. I mean, legit, like, I could do the boss again, show it, even just a spread shot. It's not UVHM, because I still got the campaign to beat. This, like, an amp shot with this onto that corner, when they're all standing there, that alone is just enough to kill them. So, it is kind of one of those deals of, the balance in this game is absolutely fucking terrible, but I was able to, I was able to make a workaround. You know, like I said, I tried this whole entanglement fire, what is it? There's a reload speed node somewhere. This one. But the problem is the problem I was having with this build is it didn't feel like I was entangling as much as I needed to. You would have those moments. The second your action skill's down, you're kind of in a forked position where this. I'll show it. I don't even need to show it off one more time. This build just kind of plays itself, especially because the fireworks. I think fireworks on Harlowe is a large piece of the puzzle because, I mean, technically speaking, it is just elemental damage, and pretty much half of these trees, you get a radiation fireworks. You're getting a lot of value. Sorry, just staring at the tree real quick. You know, it's a silly game, but flawed by just run the crit knife and an underbarrel, and the game plays itself. Obviously, I'm trying to find the workaround so I don't have to deal with a nerf soon. In theory, it sounds like they're more focused on skill interactions that are broken and the knife. So I'm gonna assume things like my shield and my grenade don't really have much of a role on this. They think this is just a okay gimmick shield. Maybe they reduce how fast it can launch rockets out. Because I think there's times where if you get a multi-kill, like there might be an internal cooldown that you can't kill multiple ads before it launches off more rockets. But at the same time, if I had to guess, maybe that's just it. They're not going to even address it. So shield's fine. Beam tossers might get stroked a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, you got underbarrels, and then underbarrels are just pointless, and we'll see. We'll see with this coming, as they said, they're going to try to buff things up before they start going nerf crazy. So hopefully we see a path where a lot of these guns, like Order, COV, Daedalus, they get their shine, and it's not just like, run a Jacobs shotgun or Jacobs sniper that are just going to out-damage everything, and an underbarrel that one-shots most bosses. I gotta finish the game today. We're gonna beat the timekeeper, kick his teeth in, and we'll see how much this shit fares in UVHM. But if I had to guess, based off of gameplay I've seen, I would, yeah, I'm fine. This build's fine. It's gonna do more than fine.